Be all right, go to school.
What was it, a rag dipped in motor oil?
Yeah, yeah. I heard
That works, doesn't it?
do they
I was
still
looking-
sell
I
that
was
stuff?
It's 5 p.m. and I'll go ahead and call this meeting to order. All right, we'll begin with the pledge. Justin, you want to lead the pledge?
I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We have no delegation. Okay, we'll go into reports and start with facility project updates. Dr. May.
All right, got several different updates here. Animal processing, we're 2 or 3 weeks out. Looks to be about 90% completed. Excuse me, they're dropping ceiling panels and things in there. All of the freezers and things are installed. We're starting to buy equipment for it. It's really coming together.
Just time for
All-
deer season.
Yeah, all the painting is completed. All the doors have been installed. Student lockers in the coat room should be concluded this week. Electrician should be wrapping up this week. Plumber should wrap up this week. So it's going to be really, really close by the end of this week. They just recently turned the wood shop side back over. It looks like, honestly, he's got two new shops, guys. It looks really nice. He plans to be back, Mr. Cox plans to be back at the wood shop this week. We're going to plan a grand opening and ribbon cutting. We're at the early stages, probably looking at somewhere between October 20th through October 27th. We're not sure in that date range what we're going to do, but what we thought about doing is doing some type of ribbon cutting on a Friday afternoon or something, and then being able to piggyback off of that and do something at a football game, maybe get the FFA kids there with some smoked meat and do some tailgating and things like that, which we thought would be cool. Nick, he wants to get his recipes down first, so he's a little bit nervous, but he's got butcher dates already. So I think his butcher dates, and I'm hoping I'm right on this, is like the 17th of October, and I think that we will have that meat back by the 23rd. We're gonna have carcasses in there soon. So it is legitimately coming together. There's a couple other things we want to get Project Connect to go through and highlight the classroom to all the people outside of the educational community, so our community can see it. It is an impressive classroom, guys. It's going to be really impressive, and it's one of those SBA projects that has a direct impact on learning. So there's going to be learning taking place there. So, like I said, smoker's in, the equipment is being ordered, the refrigerators, freezers, drying rooms, all of those things are already installed. The freezers are already, all that stuff's already at temp. It's basically there, just putting it all together. And nobody knows how to do that better than Mr. Cox, and I'm sure he'll put it all together where it's totally usable. Rack system, the lift system is up and everything. So we had to tour. The SBA came and toured the facility. They were very excited. They're excited to fund CT projects that are directly connected to education. They think that is something very valuable to put the funding towards.
Have they ever funded a meat shop before?
I don't know if they've ever funded a meat shop. They've built a meat shop, I think, before, but it's been a while. But they were very complimentary about Mr. Cox and his knowledge, and I think being able to have it tied with a teacher with expertise in the area, they feel much better off about a project like that. The HVAC at the high school should wrap up in the next 2 to 3 weeks. All units are up and running. We have to do what's called a final commissioning, and it needs schedule, but that's where we do, like with the state, and we set everything up and do a final commissioning of that. and we'll just be wrapping up a few small issues in the next couple of weeks. The Board of Ed, Gym, HVAC, that's the one we ordered and it came in, it was the wrong one, and then we have a whole nother year's worth of lead time because all these things. The unit should arrive in October. We've been given the word the unit should be here in October. And W.R. Drake will start installing those once the units have been delivered and set on the gym. I thought that you guys needed a real update there on those projects because we're getting really close to finalizing a lot of those projects. And we just need to plan to get into that meat shop and promote that and promote the kids using it. That's all I got for that.
All right, we'll move on to the consent agenda and start with amendments.
Make a motion to approve the August 28th regular meeting minutes.
Second.
Okay, it's been properly moved and seconded to approve the August 28th, 2023 regular meeting minutes. Is there any further discussion to that main motion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstention? Motion carries. All right, Christie, that's your report.
Well, I'm short and sweet. The only thing I have this time is the schedule checks to be written. Is there any questions?
Make a motion to approve the schedule of checks to be written.
Second.
Been properly moved and seconded to approve the schedule of checks to be written. Is there any further discussion to that main motion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Any abstention? Motion carries. Thanks, Christie. Alrighty, we'll move into new business and start with educational leave.
Just gave several educational leave requests there, and I'm good with making a recommendation for these. We have started in Team of 10 to do a study on educational leave. We want to make sure that educational leave is not affecting our chronically absent rate. Our chronically absent rate is one of those things that we're to be held accountable with, and it's one of our district-wide goals to make improvements on. So we are currently right now, this month, looking at those chronically absent rates and seeing how much educational leave and what these types of educational leaves are for, and if they would have an impact. But these currently, I would make the recommendation to approve these as presented for the educational leave.
Make a motion to approve the educational leave as presented.
Second.
Been properly moved and seconded to approve the educational leave as presented. Is there any further discussion to that main motion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Any abstention? Motion carries. All right, we'll go to board docs.
So this is one of those things, 31 subscribers in West Virginia currently use board docs. So that means that there's that many districts that are using the board docs process for their board meetings. This is one of those things that I would like to explore. It would be a lot less paper packets and a lot more digital packets. You would have access to the digital packets that would also be on our district website. That packet would go up on our website and include things that would be in your packet. One thing, just for transparency, let's just say contracts, for example. The contracts would be there and up on our website for approval, so our people could also see that in our community, what we're approving and or not approving. Another thing that it would do is it would allow us the opportunity to search documents. So once those contracts are complete, instead of having to take the time to go out and find what director has the copy of the contract and so on and so forth, we'd be able to just log in, search, and then pull the contract right into the board from our board docs. So today we have a presentation. I've got board docs here. You might have to turn around. I'm hoping the sound works. I don't know, I haven't tested any of this yet. We're hoping to highlight the different versions of board docs and so on and so forth. So I'm hoping that we have sound. How do we tell if we have sound?
I just texted him and asked him if he could hear us. No, he cannot hear us.
You hit join audio right there. Yeah, go to my computer. Now on mute.
Can you hear us now? Can you hear us? Can we bring it up on a computer?
Is your, do you have your laptop?
Oh, yes.
There it is.
Let me try this. They can't hear us. Something not have a microphone.
I don't know if you, but surely he could talk and we could hear him.
Ask him to talk. Is he speaking?
Is that frozen?
It's gotta be.
It's frozen.
Okay, that's not gonna work. We've been looking at the same spot since he got it.
What if you refresh that tab?
It's a castor oil. Yeah.
Looks like an Epsom salt cup. Like moisture.
It's working now.
Okay, see if he can talk, please, since he can't hear us. This don't have a mic, that's why.
Nope.
Nope. We can't hear him. Okay, so we're gonna get the device to be
Can you hear me?
He can hear you.
Can you hear me? Wonderful.
You guys hear me now?
Yep.
Yes.
Oh, there we go.
Just give me 1 second, and I'm gonna put you back up on that main screen, and we're going to use the audio for this Okay, you should be good to go.
All right. Well, glad we got everything working. Thank you guys for letting me join in here today. Without further ado, I will share my screen and walk through it here, and it's going to be our Board Docs LT, our entry-level version of Board Docs, help with the agendas, whoever's building them, and also for the public to access them as well. And let me know if you guys have any questions throughout. All right, can you guys see my screen?
Yep.
All right. This is the landing page. If you're a policy user of Board Docs, you're probably pretty familiar from that. You might be familiar from some neighboring schools as well who use this for the agendas. So if you use this for the agendas, meetings as well, there's a couple more tabs that'll open up here. And the first one is meetings, so you'll see any listed meetings that have maybe recently occurred, any meetings that you think are pertinent enough to put on the landing page. You can feature them so they're easily accessible to the public and they can see when they were. But if I wanted to click in here to meetings and click on the drop down, you see a active and also a draft. So active, it's going to have all of your agendas listed categorically by year that you guys have ever published in the past. And you guys can go as far back as you like. I see people do many years back. You can just drop them in. And the nice part about that is they're going to be keyword searchable. So maybe I don't want to flip through, 15 of those agendas looking for when that new building was talked about or being worked on. You can keyword search anything like that. And it's going to read through the agendas and also the attachments that are involved as well. So for example, if I wanted to check out our August 24th meeting, I'd click into there. And you can see view, print, edit minutes, edit video. I'll check out view the agenda. And once I do that, it'll open up my agenda here on the left. And anytime there's going to be a attachment, it'll designate it by page here. But you can see anytime I click on an item, let's say 7.4, it'll show the content that's involved, and this is public content that'll be shown when you guys have published this agenda and be accessible by the public. And then there's two other content fields. One is administrative, and the second is executive. Administrative content, if you want to have permissions for people, maybe the secretary, maybe the superintendent, anybody who's involved in building out the agenda, that is this content field. Executive content field is any kind of private documents that are just going to be held for the board members. So any locked board member content, you don't want to have obviously published on the public agenda, you can drop it. All right, so those are active ones. So if I wanted to come to a draft and go to an agenda that we may be working on and haven't published yet, I come in here to meetings, come to draft, and you can see all of those are listed. And recently I created an October 5th meeting here that I can show as kind of explain it. So I click into October 5th. I can come here to view the agenda. And here's where I can make some edits. So maybe I want to move 7.4, this item, over to 7.3, 7.3, 7.2. It'll renumber it for you as well. And then maybe I also want to add a new item under new business. If I click on the 7.4 and I come up to this hamburger tab, I can click add new item. Or in that new category, you can also create sections within the agenda as well. But for this, I'm just going to click new agenda item because I just want to add a new item there for 7.5. And you can see new agenda item is created. I go ahead to our little pencil icon and click edit. And then here's where I can make some changes here. So maybe the subject line, let's make it maybe HR report. And the type that it is, if there's going to be a recommended action, you can select that. This is just a report, so I'm going to click on information. And then here's where you can add those content fields. So You're gonna have your toolbar up here where you can add tables, bullet points, attachments. If I wanna add an attachment, come down here. And it opens up in your document folder where you can drop something. And you can just keep going along, so if there's any administrative content, you can drop that in, and if there's any executive content for the board members, you can drop that in as well. Go ahead and hit save. And then there you go, HR report with the attachment involved as well. If I want to come back into drafts, come back October 5th. Let's say I want to print out the agenda as well. You come in here and print. And you can also print out a simple agenda or a detailed agenda. So simple being just the titles, the headers, the simple version. And then the detailed would have any descriptions or attachments that are involved as well. So a little bit longer of the agenda. Well, let's say it is already October and we're ready to make this agenda public, or ready to release it. I go ahead and right click on it, and I can come to make active. The cool part about board docs is you can have pre-populated set times to when it publishes to the public. So maybe I just want to make it active today, but I really don't want to have it public until 2 days ahead of the meeting. You can preset that in board docs to or wait till then, but it will send out to the board members right now and then to share it with them. But it's going to wait until October 3rd to publish it. Hit make active, and then just move over to our active agendas. 2023, and then you can also feature it, like I mentioned earlier, to put it on the landing page. So there you go, feature. And then one last part here, if I want to add the minutes. So you can click on this, and I'll bring up the agenda, and that way the secretary or whoever's at the meeting taking the minutes can have the agenda up. If I hit load agenda, and you can format your minutes accordingly as here. So you can type in your roll call, whenever you got to an action item, do your vote. If I'm below here, new business under budget report, I can type in a comment under there, and you just keep going through doing your minutes. You got your format bar, everything you need as well. And you hit save, and you can always come back to them. If I want to come back to add minutes, they're still there. But if I'm ready to release them, you come up here to release, click on that, and they'll be released. That is about it. Really efficient system, nothing too crazy fancy going on to get people lost or anything. If you guys have any questions, let me know. I can always dive back into any certain parts there.
You guys have any questions?
I've used it before on other counties' websites.
Yeah.
to search the meetings.
It's there, like I said, there's 31 counties that currently, I believe, one of the questions that I had was, and I know this might not be important to everybody, but on your cell phone, for example, if you had your device, you could pull this up and see all of this information. It's in a readable format for a cell phone, correct? So if you were there, you could.
Yes, obviously not ideal. It's not an app, but it will format to your cell phone.
Right.
Yeah. So not preferred, but it will work.
So if somebody from the community wanted to like bring up the agenda or something for the meeting, would that be something that they would go in to board docs, or would they go through our website and have the URL? It'd be on our website, so they would,
For our application.
Yeah, correct.
they'd have to know that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it's just a link up here, so you can tag us
Website.
I used it on my.
wherever you like on your website. So most people tag it to Jim, minutes tag or what have you. They click on that to be brought up.
Okay. Well, we appreciate you showing us the program, and hopefully we'll be getting back to you. Thank you.
Absolutely. Yeah, let me know what questions you guys got. Have a good evening.
Bye-bye.
And that's, an annual subscription of $2,700.
Well, the next thing to talk about is the different versions, and I don't know if you have seen all those different versions, but I've talked to many, many superintendents about this. A lot of them have said the same thing. The LT version does everything you need it to do. There's no need to buy the more expensive versions.
Trying to remember seeing a paper or something with the different versions. It seemed like
And it has all the capability that we would need. Now, this is different. Instead of, running with paper packets and things like that, it would be more of an online type of setup. And we can print from them too. It's not a big deal. It's just archived there, which I think is a nice feature to have.
I think that's its best feature, is that it's searchable.
It's
and
searchable.
It's available to anyone.
Right.
A parent can go in and whatever, type in dress code and it
Right.
searches
It
meetings
searches.
or discussions of that.
And they can see what had happened.
Yeah.
They can go back and look at contracts. They can look at all the supporting documentation there for that meeting. It makes it more of a transparency to the public. So, that's why I thought that it would, I've talked to many, many superintendents. The majority of superintendents around the state do have it. I know it's an additional cost of $2,000 to $3,000, but it does a lot of different things that I think will help with transparency in the community and providing our folks the availability to search all those documents over time. That'll take some time to build those. We're not going to go clear back in the past and put all of our documents in, but from here on out, we would have an idea. So, like I said, I would make the recommendation to go with the LT standard with an annual subscription fee as presented, $2,700.
So moved. Second.
Okay, it's been properly moved and seconded to accept the superintendent's recommendation to purchase board docs LT standard with an annual subscription fee of $2,700. Is there any further discussion on that main motion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Any abstention? Motion carries. All right, we're to information MOU Glenville University.
I'm trying to get to that. I put this in here just for information purposes, like we just saw the information on the board docs. I think this is a really good memorandum of understanding that I've just recently signed. This provides, we have a dual credit program which you guys have already approved, but this goes beyond that. This is a relationship with Glenville State that will provide free college to our students. And I just wanted to highlight it. It goes to social services pathway, grow your own pathway, and natural resource management pathway. All three things are very valuable in this community. And the kids that sign up for that dual credit program can go to school and really stand out among their peers here. And we can get some reimbursement there, and I just wanted to highlight that. I thought that was a very good program that needed to be highlighted. All of those programs, including the Grow Your Own pathway, has a lot of state funding to do reimbursement, and I know that we need teachers. We need to get our students here excited about our resources that we have here, and Glenville State is one of those resources. Glenville State University provides those services right here, and our kids can go, and some of these kids might not get a chance to go to college anywhere else. So I just wanted to highlight this as informational, that we have a lot of those programs going on right now, and I think that this agreement just highlights that completers, it states completers of the designated pathway will receive upon enrollment in college semester hours of credit of coursework successfully completed within the course and program, the following courses. And they'll both convey high school credit and college credit. And that's just 3 additional programs that we've just added to that selection of dual credit programming. And I just wanted to put it in there to highlight it because I want you guys to be made aware of it. You may know somebody that wants to become a teacher, or you may know somebody that wants to become active in natural resource management pathway. And encourage them that we have these programs right here at our school. That's all I had for that, just information.
All right, we don't have any old business, so we'll move into personnel. At this time, I'd like to move pursuant to West Virginia Code 6-9A-4 subsection 2 of the West Virginia Code. The board go into executive session to discuss personnel and personnel matters which, if discussed in public, might affect adversely the reputation of any person. Okay, it's been properly moved and seconded to go into executive session. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Any abstention? Motion carries. Second.
So moved.
Second. Been properly moved and seconded to rise from executive session. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Any abstention? Motion carries. We'll now reconvene in open session and start with the personnel agenda under the professional section.
We have a few professionals. I want to recommend Peggy Sue Cope, substitute teacher, Emily Ramazan, instructional interventionist, GCHS.
Make a motion to approve the professional section of the personnel agenda.
Second.
Okay, it's been properly moved and seconded to approve the professional section of the personnel agenda. Is there any further discussion to that main motion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Any abstention? Motion carries. We'll move on to service.
Service, we got the resignation, Jennifer Prince, bus operator, effective 9/15/23. Recommending Seth McHenry, special education classroom transportation aide, Gilmer County Elementary School. Leslie Turner, substitute teacher, transportation aide. Danny Smith, substitute custodian, beginning in October. Samantha Bush, substitute cook.
Make a motion to approve the service portion of the personnel agenda.
Second.
Okay, it's been properly moved and seconded to approve the service portion of the personnel agenda. Is there any further discussion to that main motion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Any abstention? Motion carries. We'll move on to extracurricular.
Extracurricular, I'd like to recommend Cassandra Ward, auxiliary varsity cheerleading coach. Austin Ratliff, head varsity boys basketball coach. And Brianna Short, resignation, auxiliary elementary basketball coach, 4th, 5th, effective 8/23/23.
Make a motion to approve the extracurricular portion of the personnel agenda.
Second.
Okay, it's been properly moved and seconded to approve the extracurricular portion of the personnel agenda. Is there any further discussion of that main motion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Any abstention? Motion carries. We'll move on to continuous improvement. We don't have anything, so we'll get superintendent's information. Dr. Mann.
Just a few updates. Attended the last few weeks, attended a couple different meetings that I'd like to highlight, specifically with West Virginia School Board Association Conference. We got a presentation from the Edwards Group, and it highlighted a middle school initiative that they're starting to pick up across the state, which is a CTE expansion, and some really neat ideas, I thought, with CTE. I know a lot of you guys participated online and participated there. There's a few there. But I thought it was a very good conference, very informative for the board members to hear, things like SAC updates and, hearing from the superintendent and so on and so forth. So I just wanted to highlight that as something that is very valuable. That kind of training is very valuable to get what's going on. And I really appreciate everybody participating in that. Tomorrow I'm going down to Charleston for the induction of our Teacher of the Year. So I'll be there, and I just wanted to highlight that. Our folks will be both Teacher of the Year and Service Person of the Year going to be being recognized in Charleston tomorrow. We have a lot of activities coming up this week. I'm sure that you guys have read the memo, the bulletin here, but we got a homecoming parade. We also have some academic stuff. Our midterms go home this week. I want to give you guys an update that we're sending midterms home. We're already midway through the first 9 weeks, so those are all real positive things. I think that so far we've got a lot of headway on these buildings and facilities projects. One thing we talked about today was looking at the CEFB and making sure that we have in that what we want to have in that. And I thought that it would be something for me to float in doing this in an open meeting and letting you guys chew on this. But there's lots of these things that we have planned. We had a list last year that was a mile long of different things in the classroom that we wanted. But in 2028, our high school will be 60 years old. And we need to start looking at the process. It is what it is. There's a lot of new facility there and a lot of new facility needs there of what we currently have and what we currently would need. Looking at what our CFP folks have written down, some of those needs have already been met, safe, secure entry, renovations to the high school and things like that. But how long our high school can last? It hasn't been remodeled. In 2028, it'll be 30 years since it's been remodeled. It'll be a pretty old school. There's a lot of update that it needs, new roofs, we don't have things that other schools and other districts have. We don't have a science wing in the middle school. We don't have certain classrooms. We don't have an auditorium. We don't have these types of, we don't have a full band room with acoustics and things for our kids to practice in. I think it really needs to be a discussion. And I know that might catch people off guard, but the school is getting up there in age, and we really need to talk to your constituents out there in the community to see what people think. It probably takes some bonding capacity, but we're going to have a 60-year-old school in less than 5 years. Can it go 20 more years? No. It's been on our CFP committee's list to explore possibilities, but that's one thing that I wanted to give you an update on. We talked about those types of things in our meeting today, and we've talked about specific needs. Our freezers, our coolers are down, our roofs need replaced, the things that we need to do. And it's an old building, so we need to have those discussions, and it's kind of time to have those discussions. And I know that it might not be the most opportune time to think about that, but if it's not within the next 5 years, do we let it go another 10, 15, 20 years? And what's it going to look like then? And we want to make sure we reach the academic needs of all the students, whether they're in science or band, or whether they're in FFA, or whether they're in athletics, whether they're in theater. We want to be able to reach the needs of all of those people. So if you'd like to start having those conversations and reporting back to see what the outside community thinks about that, but we're coming up on almost a 60-year-old school. It's kind of a bold move to think about that, but it's getting there. So those are some of the things that I wanted to report out on, and give you an update on what I've been kind of working on, and I'm going to continue on the pro officer thing. I've already written a letter of intent. I know you've gotten that update. I want to continue on with the county commission and the city, writing that. Project Aware, I meet tomorrow to see what type of funding for our substance abuse prevention mental health counselor. That's a position that I've been trying to lock in with our substance abuse prevention framework. So that's another position that I feel like we could have access to. I'll know more about the details tomorrow, but all of those things have been constant. Our finance, Steve has been working diligently. He's been training Christy. Christy's been training Devin. We've been reorganizing. We're painting a room down here. We're reorganizing. I think that Steve has really done a good job at consolidating our projects, and we're able to see and verify what everything is. And I think that that's going to allow us to really future plan with you all better to impact the students better. So those are all really positive things. That's all I've got.
All right, we'll move into board members' comments. Start with Mr. Chapman.
No, just to touch base with the county and Steve. I've heard some good things about Steve and how he's been helping set up through some other people in the district.
We got to get Steve here to meet you guys. I think
Yes,
you'd really like Steve.
He said that he was working well with everybody, and that was really good. Good decision.
Anything else under track?
No.
All right, Dr. Bell.
It's homecoming week, Spirit Week, crazy mismatch day today, I think, and maybe Redneck Day tomorrow, I'm not sure. So we've got a homecoming game this week and then homecoming dance this weekend. Hope to see everybody out and enjoying the activities, parades on Friday. Had farm show last week, which with the extension office, that was very well attended. A lot of hands-on learning for the kids going on with FFA, so I'm always happy to see that. Thanks everybody for working hard.
Dr. Barr?
I really don't have anything. Homecoming's going to be a good time. Looking forward to the parade. I'm going to be announcing the parade, and just because I'm a sucker that can't say no, I'm going to play saxophone in the homecoming halftime show as they bring on the court, so it'll be fun.
Mr. Rusher.
I'll just mention that I went to the West Virginia Board Association training over the weekend, and I thought it was good like last time. I always encourage when they bring up topics that I feel are consistent even with what we're doing here, which is just to focus on academics with preparing students for future endeavors and jobs, critical thinking, career focus. It's a good conversation that I think is consistent with what we've been doing as a board.
The only thing I have, there's a Weeding Creek Governance Committee meeting tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. and I'll be going over for that and can provide you with a report next meeting. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
I have one more
Yeah,
thing.
go right ahead.
So any chance we could get you to play the national anthem there before the game too, boss? Huh? Yep. Little national anthem?
Sure, yeah.
Oh, man,
Yeah.
I've heard you do it. It sounds
Oh, thank you.
Amazing.
Thank you. Yeah, I think I did that at the Little Pioneers a couple weeks ago.
Did you?
Yeah.
I saw it at the folk festival parade.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I did that there too. Thank you. Oh, yeah, you just name the price, I'll be there. Patriotism does not come free. I'm just kidding.
All right, do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
All righty, is there a second?
Second.
All right, it's been properly moved and second, we adjourn the meeting. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Meeting adjourned.